Welcome to Ajaxar Academy YouTube channel. In this session, I am going to discuss Class 10 Reflection of Light Chapter 1. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Please share your valuable comments in the comment section. Okay, let us go to the today's session. Reflection of light by spherical mirrors. Reflection. The phenomenon of bouncing back of light is known as reflection. Spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors, a part of the halosphere, is known as the spherical mirrors. Here, first we are discussing the laws of reflection. First law, angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. A light ray incident at an angle with the normal at the point of incidence will get reflected, making equal angles with the normal. Nothing but angle I is equals to angle R. So this law is true for all surfaces, but in a plane surface or a curved one. Here the important ones are the angle made with the normal at the point of incidence, nothing but angle I is equals to angle R. So for any surface, one can decide the normal and find the incident angle. It is possible to reduce the angle made by the reflected ray. So it is easy to find a normal at any point on the plane surface, but for a curved or uneven surface it is not straightforward. Next, now we are discussing the activity 1, finding the normal to the curved surface. Now first here we are taking a small piece of thin foam or rubber, nothing but a sole of a slipper. Here first take a small piece of thin foam or rubber and put small pins along a straight line on the foam. All these pins are perpendicular to the plane of the foam. So if the foam is considered as a mirror, each pin would represent the normal at that point. So any ray incident at the point where the pin makes contact surface will reflect the same angle. So as the incident ray made with the pin normal. Here what we are taking here, a small piece of thin foam or rubber, taking small pins, and these pins are, some pins are along a straight line on the foam. So these pins are perpendicular to the foam. Okay, next, now bend the foam piece inwards as shown in the figure. So what happened if you bent inwards? If you bent inwards, all these pins are intersecting at one point, nothing but the convergent point, like a convergent beam of light. In convergent beam of light, all the rays are meeting at this point. So similarly here, so all pins are meeting at this point when we bend foam piece inwards. Okay, next, if you bend the foam piece outwards, what will happen? We will see that the pins seems to move away from each other like a divergent beam of light. Divergent beam of light, nothing but all the rays spread out from this point, so spreading. So this gives us an idea what is likely to happen with a spherical mirror. A concave mirror will be like the rubber sole bent inwards. So the mirror which bent inwards is known as a concave mirror. So a concave mirror will be like the rubber sole bent inwards. In first case, the foam bent inwards. So that is looking like a concave mirror, and the convex mirror will be rubber sole bent outwards. Let us see. Here in this is foam, and these are the pins. First we have to take a foam, and some pins are situated perpendicular to this foam, and in the first situation this foam bent inwards. So all these are bent. Whenever the foam bent inwards, these pins are meeting at this point, so this converging. So this acts like a concave mirror, so we can calling as converging mirror. Why? Because it producing the convergent beam of light. So this is a concave mirror. And come to this third one. Here the foam is bent outwards. Foam bent outwards. Whenever the foam bent outwards, all these pins are spreading out from this point. So this is a diverging mirror. So diverges. So that's why it is also known as diverging mirror. So convex mirror, concave mirror. So this acts as a convex mirror. So the mirror which bent inwards, concave mirror, and this bent outwards is known as convex mirror. The another name of concave mirror is converging mirror. The another name of convex mirror is also called as diverging mirror. Okay, next. For a concave mirror, like this pins in figure B, all the normals will converge at a point. So this point is called center of curvature of the mirror. So this represents the center of curvature. So all normals will converge at a point is known as center of curvature. Here this is about the little bit of the mathematical part. Here we are taking the circle, and this is the tangent. This is the radius. Tangent nothing but a line which touches this point. From here to this is center, and from here to here radius. Okay. Next. The concave mirror is a part of a big sphere. Concave mirror is a part of the big sphere. So in order to find this center point, that is center of curvature, we have to think the center of curvature is nothing but the line drawn from C to any point in the mirror gives the normal. The line, here we are drawing the lines from point C to any point in the mirror. That at that point, that is known as the center of curvature. So incident angle is the angle it makes the normal and the incident ray. So incident angle of incidence nothing but the angle between the incident ray and normal. Here angle I denotes the angle of incidence, and angle R nothing but angle of reflection. Angle of reflection nothing but the angle between the reflected ray and the normal is known as angle of reflection. So from the first law of reflection, angle I is equals to angle R. The midpoint or geometric center of the mirror is called pole. So pole nothing but geometrical center of the mirror is called pole, or midpoint of the mirror is also called pole. So the horizontal line which passes through a center of curvature and pole is called principal axis. So principal axis of the mirror is known as the horizontal line which passes through C and P. P nothing but pole, C nothing but center of curvature. So next, the distance between P and C is radius of curvature of the mirror. P nothing but pole, C nothing but center of curvature. So the distance between pole and center of curvature is known as radius of curvature of the mirror. It is denoted by letter R. Next, see, this is a concave mirror and this is a polished surface and it is reflecting surface. Here we are drawing the normal, nothing but a line drawn from the C to any point in this concave mirror is known as normal. Next, this is the pole. Pole nothing but a geometric center of the spherical mirror or midpoint of the mirror is known as pole, and this is the pole and it is normal, and a horizontal line which passes through pole and center of curvature is known as principal axis. Next, this is a concave mirror and this is pole and this is center of curvature, this is principal axis. Now this is the normal and this is incident ray. Whenever the incident ray striking the reflecting surface and it reflects, this is the reflected ray, and here we are drawing the normal. Angle between incident ray and normal is known as angle of incidence. It is denoted by letter I. The angle between reflected ray and normal is known as angle of reflection and it is denoted by letter R. So from the first law of reflection, angle I is equals to angle R. Okay. Next, here we are verifying the experiment with the drawing. So verifying the drawing with experiment. Here stuck two pins on a thermocol block. First we had to take a thermocol and we had to take two pins and we had to stuck the two pins to the thermocol block, and these two pins are parallel to each other. Now we'll discuss. When a source of light is kept very near, then what is the image? We see the shadow diverging from the base of the pins. Suppose the second situation, if we move the source away from the pins, the angle of diverge gets reduced. If you move the source far away, we will get the parallel shadows. So as we move the candle away, the light intensity becomes low. So that means to get a beam of parallel rays, the source should be at a long distance and it must be sufficient intensity. So nothing but when the source of light is very near, then we are observing the diverging beam of light. Suppose when the source is very far away from this, nothing but suppose when the object is at infinite distance, nothing but sun. So then the rays are parallel rays, when we get the parallel beam of light. Next. So this is a thermocol blocks and here we are stucking the two pins, one first case parallel to each other. Here this is the source, or we are taking the candle, and this candle is very near to this thermocol block. Then what is the shadow of these two pins? The shadow of the two pins are looking like diverges. So in this second case, here this is the source. We are placing the source very far from this thermocol than this. So in this situation, the shadow is parallel. So whenever the source is far from this point, then the rays are parallel, the shadow is parallel. So here when the source is infinity, or when the object is placed at infinity, nothing but we are taking sun. So the rays are coming from the sun, they are parallel rays. So for example, parallel beam of light, all the distances are measured equal distances. So we are taking the example for parallel beam of light, sun rays. So here also when the source is very far to the object, then the shadow is parallel to each other. Okay, points from today's topic: reflection of light at curved surfaces. Next, reflection, nothing but the phenomenon of bouncing or throwing back of light is called reflection. What is a plane mirror? A plane mirror is formed by polishing one surface of a plane thin glass plate. It is also said to be silvered one side. Image formation in a plane mirror. A plane mirror forms virtual erect image. In a plane mirror, the image is laterally inverted. And what is spherical mirrors? A part of a hollow sphere is known as spherical mirrors. A part of a hollow sphere is known as a spherical mirror. This is a hollow sphere and it is a part, here we are taking a part of this hollow sphere and it is bulged surface. This is the hollow surface. Next, laws of reflection. The incident ray, reflected ray and the normal to the reflecting surface at the point of incidence all should lie on the same plane. Next, second one, the angle of incidence is equals to the angle of reflection. Nothing but angle I is equals to angle R. I denotes the angle of incidence, R denotes the angle of reflection. Next, incident ray. The ray of light falling on the reflecting surface is known as incident ray. Next, reflected ray. The incident ray bouncing back into the same medium after striking the reflecting surface is known as reflected ray. Point of incidence. The point of the mirror surface where incident ray strikes and reflected ray bounces off. This is known as point of incidence. Next, normal is the line perpendicular to the reflecting surface at the point of incidence. Angle of incidence, angle between incident ray and normal. Angle of reflection, angle between reflected ray and normal. Observe this figure. This is the plane mirror and here we are taking, this is the incident ray and we are drawing a perpendicular line at the point of incidence. It is known as normal and this is a reflected ray. Whenever the incident ray strikes the mirror of reflecting surface, it reflects. This is the reflected ray. The angle between incident ray and normal is known as angle of incidence and the angle between normal and reflected ray is known as angle of reflection. This is angle of reflection and this is angle of incidence. Angle I is equals to angle R as per the laws of reflection. Angle I denotes the angle of incidence and angle R denotes the angle of reflection. Okay, next. In a spherical mirror, bulged surface is known as convex surface and hollow surface is known as concave surface. Now we'll discuss concave mirror. If the convex surface is silvered, then the concave surface acts as reflecting surface. Such a mirror is called a concave mirror. Convex mirror. If the concave surface is silvered, then the convex surface acts as a reflecting surface and such a mirror is called a convex mirror. Okay. Next. This is a diagrammatical representation of concave mirror and convex mirror. See, this is concave surface, reflecting surface and it is known as polished surface. So, this represents the concave mirror and this is convex mirror. Here in this convex mirror, this is polished surface and it is reflecting surface and it is convex surface. So, these two types are the types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, the other is convex mirror. Okay, next. Pole. The geometric center of the spherical mirror is known as pole, or the point on the mirror at the middle of surface or geometric center of the mirror is called pole. Center of curvature, the point where all the normal meet, or the center of sphere of the spherical mirror is called center of curvature. It is denoted by letter C. Radius of curvature, the radius of sphere of which the mirror is a part is called radius of curvature, or another one, the distance between the center of curvature and pole is known as radius of curvature. It is denoted by letter R, or simple definition, the distance between P and C is known as radius of curvature. P nothing but pole, and radius of center of curve, C nothing but center of curvature. So the distance between P and C is known as radius of curvature. Pole is represented by letter P, and center of curvature is represented by letter C, and the radius of curvature is represented by letter R, capital R. Okay, next. See this figures, concave mirror and convex mirror. This is the principal axis. A horizontal line which passes through pole and center of curvature is known as principal axis, and the distance between P and C is known as radius of curvature, and this is the center of curvature. In case of convex mirror also, the distance between P and C is known as radius of curvature, and this is the horizontal line which passes through pole and center of curvature is known as principal axis. Okay, thanks for watching this video.